show y'all these spectacular flowers I picked, minus the gnats. Why everybody gets back in here. Hopefully notifications went out. Like I said, if you missed the haul, it took about 15 minutes. My community tab post was spinning. I deleted it all, put it back up. I was like, come on, man. Then I made sure the haul went up good. It's a little choppy. Hopefully we can get through this smoothly. It was raining a bit ago, so I think that's what's up with the internet. So hopefully we can roll with this. I don't know, y'all. For a minute in the hall, I couldn't see the chat, but I figure we can hopefully run smooth sailing and nobody ignoring them in this. And plus, welcome y'all. Okay, fantastic. I could see half y'all in the chat sometimes with the hall, and then I was like, man, let's just knock this hall out. I hope signal's smoother. Welcome y'all. So I'm gonna show y'all these flowers right quick. Still drinking the poppin' bottle matcha green tea oat milk latte. Yo, I had a Red Bull earlier. I had some coffee. I mean, I don't want more coffee. I don't want more Red Bull. I'm already a little jittery. I've had enough coffee for an army. So I just grabbed a water, man. I'm not gonna lie. I got poppin' stuff to review, but I try to only drink. I know I just had a bunch of coffee and Red Bull and now this. I've had enough sugar and caffeine, so I'm just rocking with some water after we knocked this out. I kept looking. I was like, I don't want chai. I don't want matcha. I don't want more coffee. I'm definitely not cracking open another Red Bull. We do got the new spring ones. There was one drop for Valentine's Day, a pink one. Wild berry, it's phenomenal. And then there's a purple one. It's something, oh, grapefruit blossom. We got that coming up. But y'all, I'm like, no more caffeine for the day once I finish this guy, and he's literally got about a swig left. Welcome, y'all. Okay, so I got a couple things in the news. Some stories I've been watching. I'm gonna tell y'all. I want to give y'all a grandma update, but I want to first off by starting out and saying that grandma's all right. I don't want to have you hanging on the edge of your seat, but I want to apologize for my last stream, man. I acted a fool, trolls or not. I try not to come on here when I got a lot on my mind, and I know that's no excuse. I do want to clear that up. It's no excuse for acting a fool on here. That y'all have been rocking with me. Those that are still left, y'all don't deserve that. Y'all aren't here for that, and I do apologize. That shit was uncalled for. I had other stuff on my mind. And, you know, I get it. Either you're rocking with me or you're not. People are, you know, I'm going to keep it real short and sweet. I know you're already to move on, and so the hell am I. So I'm not going to keep going over this. I get it. Either people like me or they don't. I'm not going to be able to change their mind, and I understand that. But I need to not come on here when I got other stuff in mind. Trolls or not, take that out on people because it ruins y'all's stream. I should have ended the stream, called it quits, shut it down for the night, gathered my thoughts. And like I said, trolls or not, y'all don't deserve that have been here rocking with me, that, you know, are still holding on. And welcome, y'all. You guys don't deserve that. It puts on for a bad entertainment. It brings the vibe down. It's the same shit over and over and over. And I get it. Either people are going to like me or they don't. I can't change my mind about what they think about me. And at the end of the day, like I said back in that stream, if you missed it, I really don't care who likes me. I appreciate y'all that are rocking with me. And that is who I need to be here for and up front and center and appreciate that are still rocking with me. So I say that I'm truly sorry. I ruined the streams. I let my other real life stuff get the best of me. I had other shit on my mind, and again, that's no excuse, but I did want to come on here and apologize and say, man, I'm washing my hands of it. I'm washing my hands of it. You know, I truly am. So again, I try not to come on here. That's why I didn't come on here in the summer, you know, mom, you know, the winter, my dog, so forth. And I try not to come on here when I got other stuff. I never want to take that on you guys. I never want to take that out on anybody. I know you got your own real life stuff rocking. Bills are due. Your car may be broke down. You may need a hot water heater, whatever the case may be. You may have a family member that's going through something right now that may be sick. You're not here for that, and I get it. I get it 100. So I'm gonna post the book. Welcome. I know, Neb. I thought of that, dude. The community tab spun for about 15 minutes before the haul. My flowers were falling at the vases. I was like, dude, come on. I kept doing the Bath and Body Works thumbnail. The caps are falling off the bottles. They were flinging out of my arms. Neb, you're right on time, dude. I apologize. And we'll get into that in a second. Don't let me forget. So here's these beautiful beauties. I got y'all some flowers. Happy Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, grandmothers, grandpas, whatever the case may be. Or if you just needed something beautiful to look at. I do not know what these are, but they're absolutely stunning. I tell y'all another little quick hack, and we're going to move on to it. I got a couple stories I've been paying attention to, and then somebody in the chat has something popping up, bring address to. And these guys here. I tell you what, here's a little hack that I learned right quick. I think I've told y'all this, but if not, it's always good to know. If you get some flowers, for a birthday or a loved one, there's that flower mix, that powder that you get that comes with bouquets or in like your flower shop or your flower section. It really does work. It makes flowers last a lot longer. So I always keep a pack or two in my drawer just to spruce up some flowers. You guys have seen, man, I've looked at some of my old thumbnails, and some of them flowers we used to get from, my old yard, they would rock with us for like 4 or 5 days a week. So it's just a free little packets. Oh, fantastic. Lisa says aspirin does it too. Well, look at y'all go. Thank you, seriously. So yeah, if you got some old aspirin in a cabinet, it's expired, you need to pitch it, use it for flowers. I'll show y'all these. I got a couple things in the news. I got a couple things going on with somebody in the chat. Nothing bad. Well, not bad on their part, but we'll get into that. Let me not get ahead of myself. And so these guys here are a bright pink. Lisa said, just drop one in. I'm assuming it'll dissolve and kind of do the same thing as the powder flower food. Fantastic. Great hack. Thank you. Guys, in a perfect world, I wanted them all equivalent and nice, and they were falling out all over the place. It was a mess. Look, I done picked stuff out of here 50 times. I was like, I can't be late trying to make these flowers look cute. So there's those. Y'all, stuff is blooming quick this year. I could not believe it. Okay, so I got a couple things. Let's get into that right quick. We'll get in with Foodles. Ain't a million things really popping with Foodles, but a couple things. We'll be caught up on Foodles, and then we can get back on top of it. Let's go back Grandma. We'll trickle into a couple stories and things that I've been watching, and then again, we'll discuss something going on in the chat. Nothing bad on their behalf. Something interesting that caught my eye today in an email, and we'll talk about that as well. So first and foremost, I don't want to put too much of my grandmother's business out there, but you know that I do discuss her on my channel. You guys have wished her warm wishes for her birthday, things like that. So I do feel, if I put a community tab up about her health, I'm not going to leave you guys in the dark. Kind of going to give you in a nutshell. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not good with medical terms. I'm not good with medical stuff, but I'll kind of give you a rundown of what we've gathered so far. So my grandma is a mover and a shaker. She's 85 years old, and man, she gets around. She loves, I've told y'all, she loves her mower. She hot rods it around the yard, ramps over stumps. It blows my mind, man. My friends see her and they're like, dude, there's no way she's 85. She drives, she's welcome, y'all. She's self-sufficient. She's very independent, and it's highly amazing. It's highly amazing. So my grandma says, I don't feel good. That is not like my grandmother. She's not one of those that, catches a cough, catches a runny nose. She's not one of those that shuts shit down when she should. I've told y'all this before. Milk is her kryptonite. She unfortunately doesn't drink a bunch of water. I've bought her cases of water. I've bought juice. I've bought Gatorade. I've bought body armor. You name it. She just likes milk. I'm serious. Milk is her kryptonite. That is what she likes. She drinks it with breakfast. She drinks it with dinner. That is her kryptonite. And hell, that's probably how she made it to 85 and is still trucking around. So for those that say, make food, I can't make her, at least I've tried it all, man. Her doctor's been on her tail. I've been on her. My mom, before my mom passed away, other family members, we've tried it all. We've tried the flavor packs. Welcome, everybody. You name it, we've tried it. Smoothies, you name it. The naked smoothies, all of it. So anyway, so Grandma says, long story short, she doesn't feel good. Not to get, too grotesque and put her business out there. So I'm there chilling. And, thank goodness I was there. So I'm there chilling, organizing some stuff, going through stuff to get rid of, whatever the case may be. I'm chilling, thank goodness. And my grandma says, yo, come here. And again, I don't TMI, too much information. She says, come to the restroom. There was blood in her stool. Pretty decent amount. So I was like, no, dude, no. You got to go. The night before, again, she wasn't feeling good, but everything was, I just thought she had a common cold. So again, the next day she says, come here, yada, 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 the restroom, the blood. I was like, this is it. No, get in the car, let go. No questions asked. You're going. Either you rock with me or the ambulance is coming. Pick one. Oh my gosh, y'all. I know that the medical facilities, they're phenomenal, but they're understaffed, underpaid. There's a shortage of workers. Y'all, we were there all day and all night, my friends. So what is the diagnosis at this point? And then I'll get to down the road here. It's called colitis. That's what they gathered at the hospital. It's, again, I'm not, some of y'all here nurses, retired nurses. From what I gathered, it kind of make me mad. I'm not going to lie. I had to ask questions. Is there something she needs to, I read up on it once we got home. Is there something she needs to stay away from? Is there something that can prevent this? Is there something that can trigger this? Nothing. They really didn't give me an answer. So I did a little research when I got back to her house. So anyway, so long story short, this was on a Saturday. They wanted her to, her doctor is on vacation. So basically, what I gather, it's inflammation of the colon or the intestines. Don't quote me. So they want her to follow up with like what is it, y'all? I forget what it's called, like a gut specialist, like stomach, everything connected with the bowels, the stomach, etc. So the next day I had to tell her to sit down. Then the day after that, she drank some coffee and she started feeling crappy again. So I was like, no more coffee. Finish your medication, finish the pills they gave you. Caffeine can trigger it. Yes, thank you. Yo, I'm the worst ever. My break her heart if it was no dairy. Gastrointestinal doctor, thank you. So, y'all, that would, you wouldn't talk about rock my grandma's scene. If she would, man, I'm telling you how again, milk's her kryptonite. So anyways, long story short. So we're waiting for her to get in this doctor. She's got an appointment and her system per se, I don't want to get into TMI and gross you guys out, but everything seems to be rolling okay as far as the restroom. Didn't need a blood transfer or anything like that. That's what they were worried about at first. Oh, okay. Okay. Greek yogurt is good for the gut. Fantastic. So, so far, um, that's kind of what we're. I promise I'm not bugging out. I shook these jokers out before I brought them in, and you just sometimes can't get it all. So if you see me, I'm good, I promise. So there's that. We're definitely going to follow up with this appointment. Everything seems to be, I told her, call me night, day, call 911. If anything goes south, don't hesitate. You know, stay focused. Stay focused. So, um, okay, let me look at the notes here and then we'll get into Foodie. I promise. Great to see you guys. Yeah, that's why they wanted her to follow up. Um, the blood loss, excuse me, was kind of concerning, and that's why I told her. I said, finish this medicine, go see this doctor first. I know you love coffee like I do, but leave the coffee alone. It seemed like when she would drink the coffee, that it made it worse. It made it worse as far as the nausea, using the restroom, etc. It like triggered it almost. And I did read that caffeine can trigger it. Okay, moving along. Okay, so on this note, y'all, I'm just gonna keep this short, man. Not gonna get into this too much because it's breaking. I've been watching this story out of Toledo, Ohio, about a little girl that was missing named Kimani. Man, that my heart, may that little girl rest in peace, y'all. I don't know if y'all been following the case of, I think it's Kamani Latif or something out of Toledo, Ohio, about the father that they ended up having Pum Pum in Columbus, Ohio. He's still alive, which not going to go there, but man, that little girl, man, it just, if y'all, it's heartbreaking. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been following up on this thing. This case is just so sad and unfortunate. This little girl had such a bright future. Just, man, just the cards that were dealt with her. It's like, man, I don't know, man. Shit ain't just, some don't. The grandma didn't even cry when they found the little girl. Just the whole situation, I just want to say, man, it breaks my heart. So may Kimani rest in peace. It's such a tragic story. I'm from Ohio. You guys know that, and it truly breaks my heart. May Kiani get justice, seriously. I'm not going to go any further. I mean, I don't know, man. It's a sad situation. Another sad situation is young Scooter, an ATL legend from Atlanta, Georgia. That's another crazy situation. In my opinion, again, it's young Scooter. He's a rapper. He's a South Atlanta legend. I used to live in Atlanta. I mentioned this before. He is South Atlanta legend. He's known for songs with Rick Ross, songs by himself. From what I've heard, again, this is only my opinion, it seems like he was swatted. To me, in my opinion, again, it seems like maybe there was other gentlemen living in the house as well. It seems like maybe a jealous ex, a jealous somebody was dating, had the house swatted, and young Scooter, I've heard he got Pum Pum. One thing, he split, he jumped a fence running, and again, you should never run. That, what is it in your leg? One of your main something or another's in your leg. Again, there's two things running around that Pum Pum, and then there's another thing running around that he went to jump the fence, slit his leg, and yes, his artery. Did you see that, Jaden? So I lived in Atlanta. Like I said, young Scooter is a South Atlanta legend, and may that man rest in peace. ladies, gentlemen, whatever the case may be, tell your family not to run. Um, Also, make it very clear that swatting can really, really harm somebody. You know, just cut your ties, man. If somebody doesn't want to be with you, cut your ties, man. Again, I do not run from the police. This was an unfortunate event. You know, Scooter should have never ran. He should have dealt with the situation. And unfortunate events, in my opinion, can go down. What I've gathered, the 911 calls are all out there. It seems like there was a group of gentlemen living in this house, and in my opinion, somebody, you know, maybe got broken up with, told they didn't want to hang out with them anymore, and they had the house swatted, and shit went south. But again, it's young Scooter. Everything's out there if you want to check out the story. That's kind of what I've been paying attention to. It's wild out here, y'all. There was a shootout, again, in the town that I'm from. Some young kids. Just be safe out here, my friends. Be safe. Keep your doors locked, man. Always pay attention to your surroundings. I was staying with my grandma, and I had to call the other day because somebody was bugged out and running down the middle of my grandma's road growling. So tell your mother, your father, your daughters, your sons, your granddaughters, always pay attention to the surroundings. You know, Bella Batris was, I kept looking and I was like, I thought it was an animal. And I couldn't really, you know, see it. And kept growling and growling and growling. Well, finally I seen somebody walking down the road getting closer and closer. And I got bad inside. You just never, hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. I know that's annoying to headphone. Up, he got away, y'all. Pay attention to your surroundings. Keep an eye on your loved ones, and lock your doors, lock your cars, get your Ring doorbell camera. Do whatever you got to do. You feel me, to stay safe. I don't know what Buddy was on. I do, and again, this is only my opinion. I do think Buddy was on something, and it seemed kind of like the salt days. If y'all knew about that in Florida, Buddy was growling like a fucking animal, yo. He was bugging out, and I thought, let me make this message very clear that you're not going to be hanging out around my granny's house or her neighborhood or her community. So do what you got to do, man. Better safe than sorry. I know I'm rambling here, but it only takes one crazy thing for something to happen. So you can never be too safe. Maybe he needed a mental health check. Maybe he needed, medical help. I don't know, but Buddy was definitely tweaked out, in my opinion. And I can't have that around my grandma's house. So, all right, y'all, let's get on to what is shaking, kind of clear the vibe up. Welcome, everybody. I know that was all heavy, out the gate, a lot of sadness, a lot of, terrible events and things like that. So let's kind of have a good night. And if you're just coming in, check out the beginning. I do apologize for how I conducted myself on the last streams that we did. And I do say that, I'm going to try to come on here with a clear head. Trolls or not, you guys don't do that. And I'm washing my hands, and that's that. Seriously, that's that. Okay, so let's get on to our girl Foodles. I've got some notes here if you keep seeing me look down, and that is why I'm looking down. So our girl is definitely, I don't know, man, something's been off. So I think most of you guys know, but if you don't, oh, wait a minute. Let me rewind it. Slow down. Get your antennas up. I got one for you. Welcome, everybody. I got one for you right quick. This pertains to Foodie. Damn Arizona. No, and I know it has Arizona. I just want to it's just like that situation at my mom's. I was chilling. I was hanging out with my dog. I thought I seen a raccoon or something. My antennas wasn't up. So it's never too, that's what I'm doing, Neb. Yeah, Arizona. No, I completely get it that the world is up, but I wasn't paying attention. I was slipping, and that's very rare. So even I got to remind myself, and maybe everybody else that pay attention, be alert at all times, man, and tell your loved ones that too. Tell your loved ones that too. I told my grandma, don't answer the door. I don't give a shit who it is. If they need help, call 911. If their car's broke down, ran out of gas, do not open the door for nothing, no one, ever. People want to help, and it's sad because that's the world today. And, people, and you just got to be cautious, man. Don't know that. I'm just, you could never be too cautious. And I am so sorry to hear that, Arizona. That's fucking, excuse my language. Okay, let's get to Nebulous Nectar right quick. So I get an email today and I get a screenshot. And I was like, now stay with me here, because I was a little lost too. So Nebulous Nectar is my mod here in the chat, okay? And Neb has a very small channel. Now, I'm not saying that out of disrespect to Neb, okay? Follow me. What I'm saying is Neb has 32 subscribers. Now, again, no disrespect. We all got to start somewhere. What I'm getting at is Nebulous Nectar here in the chat made a video about Foodie. Follow me. Nebulous Nectar made a video about Foodie, a 32, Nebulous Nectar, 32 subscriber channel. Now, we've always said this. Our girl, in our opinion, and my opinion as well, pays attention to everything. Whether it be a big channel, whether it be a medium channel, whether it be a small channel, our girl's radar is always out. Jaden is on point. Nebulous Nectar got a copyright strike. Now, here's the problem, my friends. You have to have 50 subscribers to fight the copyright strike. So if any of you lovely people for here, the chat, the replay, in the background, would love to go subscribe to Nebulous Nectar, and maybe we can figure out this situation a little bit better. Now, I do not know if Foodie did it. I want to put that out there. But we're suspecting, in our opinions, she cannot figure it out until she reaches. So I do not think that anybody else, in my opinion, would copyright strike a video that had nothing to do with them, in my opinion. So I want to make this very clear. Y'all be careful what you say in the chat as far as getting YouTube jail for stuff. FD, I'm going to delete that. Listen, yo, we got to be careful what we write on here. Yes, if y'all want to hit, Neb, if you want to hit a link in the post. FD, be careful what you write, because it's like the chat, when it goes back through, it reads stuff. So I don't want to get us in trouble. We got to stay on our P's and Q's over here for the most part. So here's the deal. Again, in my suspicion, in a Neb suspicion, we think that Foodie might have done it. Now, am I a YouTube detective? I'm not. But I find it, nobody's going to strike a video that doesn't pertain to them. Anyways, long story short, some of us have always thought this, that, Foodie's radar is always out. And I just think it's wild that, again, no disrespect to Neb. I started from the ground up. When I started, I think I had 14 subscribers. So, you got to start somewhere. But for Foodie to strike in allegedly, I don't know, but for somebody to strike a channel with 32 subscribers, who else is going to take the time to do that? I just find that a bit weird. I've never struck anyone. I've never struck anyone. People can have their opinion, whether good, bad, in between, regardless. You got to take the time to do that and really have the goal and the time and the fupa balls, in my opinion, to do that. I said this before. I can't get on here and talk shiznai and expect people not to talk shiznai about me. That's just not the way the game goes. If you do commentary on people, people are going to talk back. If you put your life and your opinions on here, people are going to give their opinion back. That's part of the game. It truly is. I've said this before. I don't expect Foodie not to clap back. That wouldn't be fair. Like Foodie or don't, we can't come on here and voice our opinions and Foodie can't voice, hers. Now, some of the shit she says is outlandish as hell. We're going to talk about something coming up. Do I like some of the shit she says? No. Talking about French Fry Girl's mother is food. French Fry Girl can like me or not, I don't give a shit. But talking about somebody's dead mama, that shit ain't cool, man. That shit ain't cool. Talking about people's kids, they mama, when their mama and their kids ain't on YouTube, that shit ain't got nothing to do with it. That shit ain't got nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? Talk shit about me all you want, but you don't bring somebody's dead mama, their kids into it, etc. You know what I mean? So, like I said, and again, let me reiterate that, Neb. It was a shorts video. It wasn't even a full video, y'all. It was a shorts video, like the shorts clips. It wasn't a long-ass video. So again, I want to put this out there before people come for me. In my opinion, I think, keyword think, in my opinion, that it was Foodie. I cannot prove that. I want to put that out here because I know people are going to say, I said in my opinion. Neb said in her opinion. So there we go. Yeah, that's why you gotta, so like Neb said, you gotta be careful in here, with Hassan talking about things, deaths, things like that. The chat will go through it before it comes up. Keywords go through a system with bots. We've been through this for years. I've showed y'all my community tab, the yellow money sign, no money sign. That's why we've kind of came up with phrases, keywords, little goofy sayings that we say because, even though we're a small channel, we still have, we still got to be careful, Big channels like Foodie, well, we're not going to go there, but Foodie can say, she wishes people to talk about their mother, etc. But us little guys over here, we got to talk in lingo, etc. So let's talk about some wild stuff that our girl said. I want to say, just because Neb is a mod on my channel, she has nothing to do with anything that pertains to me, my situation, my family, none of that. I want to put that out here very clearly. She may not agree with everything pertaining to me, pertaining to the situation. I want to put that out there very clearly. She is her own person with her own thoughts. So I want to put that out here 100. Just because she's my mod doesn't mean she rocks with any situation or anything like that. All right, so speaking of wildness, y'all, that could be a possibility too, that somebody might, we discussed that as well, that, Foodie has people, everybody's got their people, and, maybe somebody, their bat signal out. But I do think it was pertaining to Foodie or one of her buddies per se. I just, like I said, you guys know there's videos about me. I'm not going to strike them. I'm not going to go after their channel. It's almost like, unless somebody is truly, it's just, in my opinion, it's a code of ethics. It's in my opinion, it's unspoken. You can come on here and talk shit. You gotta, if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. Do I like the shit that's said about me? Do I like the videos people? Hell no. Don't know nobody, but you don't watch the shit and you move on. I highly suggest, if you start a channel, if you have a channel, do not watch anything about you. Keep it moving. You know what kind of person you are. Your people, just that's the worst thing you can do. Either people know you for you, they're going to rock with you, or they're not. I'm a person, I like to see somebody, I like to get to know that person, and I make my own judgment of how I feel about that person. I make my own assumption of how I feel. So again, this is to Neb. You may have a crafting channel. You may make food, whatever the case. You may want to start a foodie or a channel or a commentary channel. Do not watch anything about you. It is the absolute worst thing you can possibly do. Do you stay focused? You know who you are, and move on. Not everybody's going to like you regardless who you are. You could make the best whatever recipe and somebody's still going to say you cooked it wrong, that pan's ugly, that pot's ugly. Whatever the case may be, you're not going to appeal to everyone. Keep that in mind, my friends. They may say your background's stupid, your background's ugly, cut the fucking cord, whatever, that you can't prove you cannot please everyone. Do you, like I said, you could be making a flower channel. Do you stay focused? Don't worry about the views. Don't worry about the money. Even if it's a hobby, just stay in your lane. Do you? Nice, beautiful. Nice. Let me hold on and I've always said this before, and a lot of you can vouch for this that are still with me. If you got a channel, man, and like I said, just because people fuck with me, they don't support man, like I said, if you got channels, man, let me know and I'll definitely subscribe. No, I know that, Neb, but I'm just saying, just because you rock with me, you're you and I'm me. I don't want people crashing out on you because of me. Hold on, I'm writing Beautiful's channel to sub to. You're you got your own beliefs, I'm me, etc. You're your own person, and I'm not gonna lie, y'all, it is warm. Anyways, okay, let's kick it. All right, so back to it. My bad, y'all. I wanted to make sure I brought up the Neb thing. And again in the chat for the replay, it's Nebulous Nectar. Nebulous Nectar. Welcome, y'all. It is, she's got a cool little puppy. She likes ghosts, paranormal stuff. She loves music. She likes a lot of stuff we all do and stuff we've talked about. All right, y'all, let's get on. This kind of chafed my asparagus, I'm not going to lie to you. So, I know, she is, Nikki, she is, thank you. Check this out, y'all. I know that I don't, I might skip a beat here and there and not be on here, every single day and every single week. But did I miss a trip to Egypt from our girl Foodie? Anybody, can somebody help me in the chat and the replay? Is our girl Foodie, I mean, we know she kicked it with an Egyptian, but has Foodie been to Egypt? Did I skip a beat somewhere? So our girl Foodie has the fupa balls to come on here the other night and say, now this is what Foodie Beauty said. This, I've never been to Egypt. She hasn't either that I know. This is what Foodie had to say. Foodie had to say that if you're a woman, now again, I don't know this. I can't vouch for this. I never been to Egypt. I like to go off things that I've done, places I've been, things I've been through before I speak on them. Foodie says that, she wouldn't advise you to travel to Egypt as a woman because, Kuwait and, stuff like that is better because in Egypt, there's a lot of scammers. They'll get you, to, want to ride the camels. They'll try and scam you, different tourist stuff, etc. Kind of that in a nutshell. How can you speak? Welcome, y'all. How can you speak and disrespect a country that you've never been to? Have you been asked to ride the camels in Egypt? Have you been scammed? Have you been messed with in Egypt? Now, again, I've never been there. I can't speak on it. I like to speak from experience. I can't speak on what goes down in Egypt because I ain't never been there. But I just thought, how do you know? Welcome, y'all. How can you talk about a country and say, well, Kuwait's, the Middle East is so much better? Dude, let's get this straight, in my opinion. You really aren't out on the streets of Kuwait or the surrounding countries to really know what goes on. You have no idea what goes on. Now, am I saying this stuff goes on in Kuwait? No. But does our girl go anywhere other than the beach maybe for 2 seconds, the McDonald's, the Hardee's, whatever the case may be? Does our girl go anywhere to really see what's going on in these Kuwait streets? Every country, in my opinion, even the U.S., go to Vegas. People are going to want you to take pictures. They dress up in costumes. People are going to try to sell you stuff, t-shirts, whatever the case may be. That's what people do. In the U.S., other countries, people try to get their hustle on. That's a part of life. So I just thought it was kind of disrespectful to hone in on the certain country, Egypt, and say, well, I wouldn't travel there as a woman, but I ain't never been there, but you're going to get scammed and there's a lot of people. Man, get the fuck. Like, you don't know. You've never been there. And then you don't even know what goes on in Kuwait because you're not out in the streets. So moving right along, we're going to roll this into the next one, community tab. So I'm assuming this is a jab at Yaba. So our girl puts a community tab out. Welcome, y'all. Great to see you, love. I hope you're doing great. Seriously. Great to see you. And great to see all of you, honestly. Great to see all of you for here, the replay. Great to see everyone. So Foodie always has to take a jab at the U.S. So, again, I'm assuming this is for Yaba, the YouTube Underground. Yaba's put it out there. She lives in Indiana. So Foodie puts on her community tab a picture of Indiana. It looked like some kind of slum down apartments. Dude, what country, what city, what state doesn't have some busted down? You know what's crazy, Sam, is I literally was organizing some stuff the other day and getting my shit organized. I promise y'all, I still have the aquatic dragons. I should have. It's so funny you said that. I set them aside and I completely forgot them. I promise you guys, I got the dragons. I promise. And if the little packet that we put in water is messed up and on a time frame, I'll buy another one and we'll knock it out. But anyways, long story short is, have y'all been anywhere, other countries, places in the US, what city, what country, what state doesn't have abandoned places? People may pass away and, that they don't have a family member and the building goes abandoned because it's not, anything can happen. Say you've got an apartment complex and a family dies, the state or the city or the country is not going to keep that up. If it doesn't sell, it just sits there. It takes money to bulldoze things, money to keep up lots. It's and then I'm about to say something crazy. It is what it is. I'm gonna say it. You talk about all this, about the U.S. How about I'm gonna go here. You know what? I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there. I'm going to. It is what it is. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. She's always jabbing to the U.S. I'm gonna do it. Kuwait looks very beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. I'm talking about the complex that she's in. Yo, if that would have been one of us on here, me, a reactor, used to come from my old house. If one of us filmed all that trash that is outside the front of your apartment complex, you would have been on that shit like white on rice. If one of that trash that was outside of their house or their apartment, your ass would have never, man, knock it off. Knock it off, yo. I'm sorry, when she showed, it was a couple months ago, all the trash, the bottles, the candy wrappers, the chip wrappers outside, yo, that's crazy, yo. And again, this is no disrespect. Knock it off, man. If somebody would have showed that, if somebody would have showed that outside their house, and outside their apartment complex, your ass would still be talking about that. I don't understand. You're going to get rodents. Why they don't put a trash can outside of there? Why they don't put a trash can out? And again, people are going to throw shit on the ground. That's what they do. But why not put a trash can outside of that building? Welcome, everybody. That trash that was, y'all remember the day I'm talking about? It was a couple months ago, and she went outside. And y'all, it was like lines of trash. Candy wrappers, chip wrappers, bottles, cigarette packs, whatever the case may be. It was just lined in a freaking row. Y'all tell me in the chat and tell me in the replay if she's seen. Exactly, that's another thing, Kelly. She talked about wanting to volunteer, and we'll get to that down the road. I'm trying to knock things out as we go, but she talked about, somebody asked her where would she like to be in hers, and she said, well, I would like to get on a health journey sooner or later, and I would like to volunteer. Again, I'm not trying to be mean, but you were just talking about there was tons of people on the beach that you didn't want to go to the beach because people were everywhere. Somebody parks beside you and she's talking about wanting to volunteer at an animal sanctuary or like Syrian camps and stuff, which that would be amazing, but let's be real here. Let's be real here. It would be, Sam. It would be a great, and I think Kelly said it too, yeah. It'd be, man, that'd be a great, get out there, dude. Get you a big old trash bag and do some exercise. It's free. It's helping your apartment complex and the city and the animals. That shit'll bring rodents and bugs, dude. So anyway, so there's, hold on, let me cross off the volunteer part. I was like, dude, I'm not trying to be mean. It's good to dream big, but you got to be realistic. You got to be realistic. We're not 17 again wanting to be an astronaut, or 14. What do you want to be? Oh, I'm going to be an astronaut. It's great to dream big, but start small and work your way up. Like you guys just said, volunteering, picking up the trash in the complex, dude. That'd be, talk to the, you say Solano's the maintenance man. Why don't they put a trash can? Again, not everybody's going to throw their trash in there. That's what people do. But why not put a trash can out there? All right, y'all. So next thing, I want to put this out here. I'm not linked to Kai Bella either. It's just a video that I was cleaning today. Came up on me. And so Kai Bella put up a video, and it was a doll that she had got off the channel Fat Cow. Y'all, I don't know Fat Cow. I'm not linked to her either. This doll is absolutely hilarious. It is phenomenal. The detail in it, I'm not even going to ruin if you want to go. Again, I don't know Kai Bella. I never talked to her in my life. We never emailed nothing. The video just came across my feed when I was doing notes. Y'all, this doll is Fat Cow knocked it out the park 100. How creative. She did not skip a beat. She did not miss a detail. So if you get bored, man, and you're into funny stuff, this doll was phenomenal. It truly was, man. Cool, just little foodie memorabilia. Something like the girl verse. Just a cool little, just something quirky and silly. It's just a really lighthearted video if you get bored. Alrighty. We are scootling right along here. Look at me, I'm staying on task for once. Yeah, the doll was hilarious. Kelly, did you see it? Did some of y'all already see it? Y'all, it's cool. It really is. It's the quirky, like I said, it's a lighthearted video. It's nothing serious. I know some of this can be annoying. Some of it, her talking about other countries, putting down other countries when she ain't ever been there. That shit's annoying. But Kai Bella's video with the doll, it's silly, it's goofy, it's lighthearted, it's funny. It's just something, if you bored, check it out. And I don't know Kai Bella. I want to put that out there. I'm not linked to her. That's so. Okay, let's bring it back a little bit. Absolutely. That is fantastic, Net Detective. Yeah, and that's what, it's when people see other people taking care of the area, taking pride in where you lived, sometimes it'll catch on. Now, again, it always won't. Yeah, sorry, Mark. Sometimes it won't catch on, but sometimes it will. It does, Sam. My bad. I got the window open, man. I've got the heat off, y'all, and I apologize for the crickets. I hope it's not too it's just warm in here. It's warm. Actually, I don't know if I would turn off this light if it would be too dark. So our girl came up missing for a couple days. Now, bet your tail she was back in time for her birthday stream. So some people I noticed that I had seen pointed out that there were some bags on the ground, like maybe a travel bag. Foodie comes on talking about, oh, I was going to go feed the cats. This is Sala's bag. I didn't know if I wanted this purse, this backpack. In my opinion, to me, in the birthday stream video, it looked like she had just gotten back. There was like a wallet or a change purse on the couch. It looked like a hijab. Again, the bag was sitting there. There was a smoky treat. She wouldn't talk about everybody, but who the hell has a cigarette on their couch? It's so funny that you know, she don't even know whose cigarette it was, but Solid smokes, okay. We seen her in Thailand take a couple puffs. So I do think that it was visa runtime, in my opinion. She put up a community tab saying, if you talk about the community, or excuse me, the visa run stuff, you're gonna get blocked. Don't come back. Don't mention in my chat. You're a rap. Man, why are you so gun-ho? It's almost like a dead giveaway, in my opinion. It's like when you ride so hard for something that isn't true, talking about I'm not going to show my marriage certificate. Again, I think the reason she connects the dots, in my opinion, that I don't think there is a marriage certificate. I think if there possibly is one, it was finessed, it was finagled. I think that she still has to do these visa runs, in my opinion, and I think that's why she tries to cover it up so much, and she tries to pull this BS. Well, why do people care so much? Because boom, bango, it opens up the gates of you're not really married. Homeboy's not your husband. This is all a stunt. This is all some BS. You got one over on us. You're married. Ye freaking who. Fantastic. Good for you if you are, if you ain't. In my opinion, you ran off over there. It would be a red fucking flag to me if I'm talking to somebody on the phone, I ain't never met them, and they asked me to marry them. I don't think I must speak for me, but that's a no sorry for me, Bob. That's, I think, in my opinion, why she knows deep down inside why people put the pieces together for the visa run is it would uncover the lie, whole big scam of exactly, Lisa. Welcome, y'all. Welcome. Y'all, check out Loose Cannon as well. Check out Loose Cannon as well. Again, they are not tied to me. I do not know them. They're just a cool little channel that I found. Okay, so she mentions the other night that Sala wasn't, too happy. That, exactly, FD. I do think if they were truly married, she would be, posting this thing, all over the place. It would be a, hey, look at me. I do think that Sala's getting frustrated, in my opinion. So she mentioned something like Sala was, don't quote me, basically annoyed that the car was messy. Hello, we all remember how the Kia would look, crumbs, sauce. She mentioned boogies in her old car, not the Kia, but well, how it probably had some too, but when she lived back at BB's or something, that there was boogers in the car. Her words, not mine. That's just, we know our girl is not into taking care of things. Exactly, Luce. I think he's getting annoyed, but I think that both of them, in my opinion, have kind of played this game of chess where they're both kind of stuck, per se, as far as, and again, this is only my opinion, financially, let's be real, unless something drastic, in my opinion, happens, we all know that, yes, Sam, exactly, that's what she's saying. Yeah, real good job burger shaming about my car. I didn't have a tissue, that's why I had to wipe it. Exactly, Net. As long as there's something rolling in, I think that they've both kind of worked themselves into this predicament. Even per se, he may not be happy. He's got the T-Mobile to pay for. I do not think, Vanilla fragrance is a fucking thing, in my opinion. Never has been. It was some kind of hustle and scheme, in my opinion, allegedly. I think he's got the Temu bill to pay for whatever other trinkets and shit he wants along the way. We know she doesn't have a vehicle in Canada. We know that she gave away all her possessions, her cats, everything. She's got nothing to go back to. I think she knows that she can't go to her mother's, and stream. We all seen that the last Canada trip. Mom said no sorry, Bob, of streaming in the house. So I think they've both worked themselves into quite a pickle. And again, we know how she is with men and with people in general. Unless something drastic happens, she ain't going nowhere. And if she does, we already know what's about to happen. We already know that he's about to be this, that, and the other. We already know what's about to go down. Okay. So, here's another one is, I've always noticed this, but I caught it the other night especially. A lot of people named the cat brew that bitter. And we've always said this, but I noticed it again, like I said, is she latches on, she hates the community so much and hates the haters and hates the reaction and the recap channels and the clip channels and you, the viewers, so much, but she'll leech on to things that people come up with in the community. Whether it be you guys, whether it be the reaction channels, the clip channels, it's like the fupa balls, the villa, the little catchphrase is part of the community. I ain't gotta tell you guys. It's like she hates the community so much, but it's part of her content as well. She talks about what's going on, but she don't watch anybody but Yo Mama, guys. She watches every channel, in my opinion, like we talked about in the beginning. Go check out the beginning if you missed it. You may have, a handful or 32 subscribers or 20 or so forth. She's not skipping a beat. So I just thought it was funny that she just gets a kick out of this cat called Hero and let's go see Hero. I'm like, dude, you can't make this shit up. You truly, you cannot make this shit up. I don't know, man. I just, sometimes I step back and I'm like, man, are you fucking serious? Like, just like the other day she was eating I think it was the penne bolognese, and she was talking about a babysitter she had that used to eat onion sandwiches. Where do you come up with this shit? Welcome everybody. Where do you come up with this shit? It's like, yeah, I get on here and tell you guys little tidbits of my life, growing up, my family, etc. But you're doing a whole ass mukbang, and your topic is a babysitter that used to eat onion sandwiches. I'm like, damn, dude. Like, this is what I got, yo. This is the notes. Like, I've been going a minute, yo, and this is the notes. Exactly, beautiful. It's like she can't remember what she said last week. Oh, Neb, you just reminded me something. Hold on, y'all. Let me grab something. Y'all might get a kick out of this. Some of y'all like Seinfeld. I thought of y'all. Hold on, y'all. I need to stand up anyways. It's about that time that I gotta move around right quick. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, it's about that time. The old leg was going numb. So, I was at the grocery store the other day, y'all, and I seen this. I gotta check out everybody's clearance section. So, I kept looking, and I put it in my cart, and I take it out, and I was like, I gotta get this, man. So, I thought this would be something cool that we can do for a holiday, a lazy day, a chill day, a rainy day. We're kicking it, having a holiday stream, whatever the case may be. Yo, I seen this, and I was like, I kept putting it in my buggy, and I was like, the collector's trying to be the selector, but I was like, damn, we need this. So this is the Seinfeld trivia game. It's character questions, multiple choices, shows facts. I thought this would be a good time. I know a lot of you guys, the Vanilla Fragrance, I've said that before, it's a Seinfeld clip. If you get bored, look up Vanilla Fragrance, Seinfeld. If you're lost about the whole Vanilla Fragrance thing, it'll tie together. But I've told you guys this before. When I was younger, me and my mom would watch Seinfeld. It was our thing. I know some people like it, some people don't. I absolutely loved it, even when I was a teenager. So anyway, so we can play this one day. I do, Chi. It's got a place in my heart, like I said. You know, I would watch it with my mom. How I've probably seen the majority of the episodes 10 times, but it's just a funny little show, lighthearted, silly, and it's a good time. So I got us this. I have in a no, don't speak it into existence like our old wand. Sorry, y'all. That was Nickel, by the way. But anyway, so we got that. I thought that'd be a good rainy day. You know, a little holiday. Yeah, so that's what I was going to say, too. You know, if you got some free time or something to wind down on, you can check it out, and then you'll be brushed up on when we play. All right, y'all, let's move on. So, Gaslighting Central. Yes, the man hand. See, some of y'all, man, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. I love it. I do. It's got a special place in my heart with my mom. You know, it would come on mid-evening. I was a teenager, you know, probably out weed in the backyard or some shit. You know, who knows? But I love it. I don't know, Peach. We'll have to check. Okay, so speaking of gaslighting, so the birthday stream, I know I'm all over the place. I was doing this while I was getting, cleaning up earlier, so it's kind of all over the place. Angela, I freaking love it. I really do. So on the birthday stream, Sola's pinging away at the old Casio keyboard, and somebody says, "Shut up." In my opinion, it definitely sounded like it was inside the building. It sounded like it was close. It sounded like it was a neighbor. Even she looks at the chat and says, somebody just yelled at us. The next fucking day, she was outside. They ain't got no screens on their windows. What are the odds they're in a sky-rise apartment type situation, building type deal, and the windows are closed, and you're going to hear shut? Get the flying out of here. Why do you lie about the goofiest, silliest shit? If y'all didn't hear it, the clip channel's got it. You can clearly, in my opinion, somebody say, here's the deal, too. She comes on and says that people don't act like that in Kuwait. They're not going to say that. Well, guess what, buttercups? It's an expat building, too. People did their research. Not everybody that lives in that building from Kuwait. And let me tell you, if somebody's trying to go to sleep, it doesn't matter what country they're from. You can be annoyed no matter where you're from and how you feel, how you're religious. If you've got to work the next morning, or you've got a toddler, or you're just trying to get some sleep yourself, they didn't say off. They said shut up. There's nothing cut and dry. The clip's out there if you don't believe me. She went to get, man, that's why people don't believe nothing you say, dude. Nothing you say. What is the point of lying about that? What, other than people not believing you more, did that truly benefit? Honest God question. For you guys and the replay, what was the point in that? I love how she just, people in Kuwait don't do that. Again, go back to what I said about the Egypt situation. You're not out in the Kuwait streets. You're not out in the streets like that. You're not out in the city like that. You don't know what people do. You have no Kuwaiti friends. I will sign, sew, and deliver that shit. Dude, come on now. So did y'all see another day? She's talking about she was going to cook for people. They were going to have a party. Not a bunch of people like you guys think. Not the kind of party you guys think. Man, oh, Shevitz. Who in here and the replay, show of hands, believes that she's just, would you like any Grey Poupon and some tea? Man, you cannot pay me. I just don't see it. I just do not see it. I just don't. She's not getting out in China. I just don't see it. I truly don't. I'm not being mean. I just do not get the social vibe. And again, that's not to be mean. I first off, I'm not eating nothing. I'm not eating a damn thing. You don't wash your hands. The cat's climbing on stuff. You talk about the cat being in the kitchen. You make shit like them cookies for Valentine's Day on the kitchen table. I'm not eating a damn thing. I'm not eating it. Yeah, remember that crappy, would you like any Grey Poupon? Sorry, I'm a little raspy. You know, I'm trying to stay on task here and get it out for us. I just don't see it. Again, and I'm not being mean. I'm truly not being mean. She's socially awkward. And again, you guys, you know, my old YouTube room, you know, it was a decent sized house. And that's another thing, man, that chafes my ass. It's so funny, dude. Like, she had so much shit to say about my YouTube room. You know, first off, that shit was a 2-bedroom house, which it don't matter if it was a tiny house, a she shed, a camper, whatever it is. But now, Karma's a bad mammer jammer, and she's stuck in a fart box. We could do cartwheels in this son of a bitch, you feel me? And you got to be careful, man. And like I said, I'm not saying that I'm talking about her. I'm talking about her. You don't know, I've stayed in the camper. I love my tiny house. I don't give a shit if you got a tiny house, a camper, a she shed, you know, whatever the case may be. I'm talking about her. I want to make sure you guys the replay. You know, I thought our little spot was dope. Welcome, y'all. I thought it was a cool little spot. And see, that's where you got to be careful when you bring shit in the universe. Oh, your tiny house, your tiny room, your camper, etc. And again, a roof over your head nowadays, I want to make this clear, is a roof over your head. I'm talking about her. Look at where she's at. That living room, it's got too much furniture in. Them 2 couches, they don't even use the second one. Again, I don't believe they have company. You got the treadmill shoved in there. That thing ain't nothing but a scratching post for the cat at this point. You know, look, the other room, I don't know what's up with it. She had a love seat in there, crammed something else. That shit was a disaster. You got to be careful, man. You got to be careful when you speak into existence. You really do. And again, y'all, I want to make this clear. You know, times are hard. It doesn't, you know, some people choose to live in a camper. Some people choose. Oh, speaking of, let's go here while we're right here. She talking about like a tiny cabin house living situation type deal. Again, I'm not trying to be mean. You got to be down with a small space to really, it's a certain way. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, B. Tiny living and camper living, is not meant for everybody. It really isn't. It really isn't. You got to take into consideration a lot of things. Do you have pets? I think I'm going to do a video about tiny house living and camper living, the ups, the downs, all arounds, the things people don't think about. I was thinking about that today while I was in the shower. Things that you don't think about. But I just, I'm like, a tiny house living. She mentioned van before. Man, let me tell y'all, y'all know I got the camper. It ain't a secret. I've showed y'all. There's so much that even I dropped the ball with about living in a camper, about, things that you got to take into consideration. You guys, know all this. I don't have to tell you, but is our girl going to go, say the heater and the electric goes out? You got animals. Is she going to know how to hook up a propane tank? Say, something happens in the world and you got to, cook on a fire. Come on, y'all. Come on, let's be real here. Our girl's not much of a nature connoisseur. You guys are smart. I don't have to tell you what comes with, tiny living, off the grid, a small cabin. You guys know. Oh, Sam, I would love to see it. You know what, Foodie? Here's my advice, and I'm sure some of the people for the chat and the replay will agree with this. Can we please do van life or tiny house living? I'll speak for me. I'm here for it. Let's do it. I think it would be amazing. Let's do it. Let's say, sell everything, get a van, and down by the river. Sign me up. I'm here for it. Get you a she shed, get you a camper on wheels, baby. I'm here for it. I think some of y'all in the chat and replay will be too. Let's take this show on the road, babes. Let's do it. Sell the shit, keep your bias. You only like that shit anyways. Get your travel bag, baby. Let's go. Let's go. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I think some of y'all are too, because this is when I'm talking about finger and donuts, we got a problem, Captain. So she gets some donuts the other day. I'm like, okay, American Pie donuts. That's the most sharp. Again, that was my foot. It's got no cream. And I'm like, man, if that's the only thing I had to worry about in life, my donuts not having cream, sign me up, man. It is pretty depressing when you do expect a good donut and it doesn't have cream inside when it's supposed to. It does suck, I ain't gonna lie. Y'all know I love a good snack, I love a good sweet treat, but God, man, you want to talk about problems, man. Oh, dear Lord in a ham. It's like, so, so she mentions the couples channel and they went out to brunch the other day. Brunch. Welcome, everybody. They went out to brunch. I was like, ooh, sounds fancy. Why didn't we get to go? Well, we're not quite sure what to do with the couples channel. And, Sala doesn't. What are we doing? Are we couples channeled up? Are we a couple? Are we not? What are we doing? I don't know. Like I said, something's fishy. And it is the tuna can. I've said this probably a million times at this point, but I think, and again, this is only my opinion, I think that Sala's family is like, no more games. You do your 1-2 on the keyboard or something in the background on her YouTube, or stay out the cut. But we really, other than the Harry stream, of Harry passing, we really haven't seen Sala too much. So, in my opinion, it seems like he's laying pretty low. And Again, this is only my opinion. I think it's got something to do with the family saying, cut this shit the hell out. Um, we're sick of the bullshit. So speaking of Salamander, she's in the chat by herself, or excuse me, in the car by herself. Now this is where shit gets a little weird. So Sala is at D1EA. He's hanging out with his buddies. Now check this out. So Sala, this is her words, is not mine. Stick with me. Sala gets a ride from his buddy to hang out with the guys. D1EA is like the guys hangout. Sorry, that was my stomach. I'm getting a little hungry. So people are like, well, why don't his buddy pick him, or excuse me, why don't Mazad, that's what we got next coming up is the old Taco Bell situation. So they're like, well, if his buddy picked him up, why don't come back off? And she's like, well, I offered to pick him up. I'm out and about. Now, this is when things get a little weird. So Sala's in the chat. Okay. If I'm hanging out with my buddies, what, you know what? I should have grabbed it, Kelly. I actually got something and I meant to grab the daggone thing. Hold on, y'all. We'll take a quick 2-second break once we get situated. And, so long story short, so the stream's getting a little glitchy because she's chilling. She's chilling, okay? And it's getting a little glitchy. She's like chilling in a parking lot or something. So the chat starts asking Sala, what's up? What are you doing? What have you been doing? So the chat's glitchy, like I said, mind the pixelated part, but the chat's still rolling. The video's kind of glitching, but the chat's steady rolling. So Sala says, yeah, I've been hanging out with my friends and family. The stream picks back up as he's saying this in the chat. Oh my. She was not a happy camper. She said it was an invasive question. Dude, how is it invasive to ask somebody how they've been and what they're doing? Don't answer them. You don't have to answer them. You don't have to answer to them. What's wrong with him hanging out with his friends and family? Because don't nobody want to hang out with your ass, in my opinion. That's my opinion. You are not invited, in my opinion. That's why you didn't want him to say that he was Fran. That's why you didn't want him to say he was hanging out with his friends and family. You're sitting in an abandoned parking lot. And sorry, I was reading Kelly's thing. I seen that too, where she was talking about, she's supposed to keep this and that up. And people were like, well, that's kind of messed up in any culture. Nobody should tell you what to do. And she's like, well, I tell him what to do. He's got a manscape. Yeah, I caught that too. I will say this. I'll say this nicely, and I don't want to offend anyone. Everybody has a preference. No matter what culture you're from, what ethnic you are, ethnicity, if I could talk, wherever you're from. Somebody may like blonde hair, somebody like brown hair, somebody may like fair skin, somebody may like dark skin, whatever the case may be. But there's a way about it that, again, this is, in my opinion, for anybody. No matter male, female, where you're from, there's a difference between saying, hey, babe, I like your hair brunette. Hey, babe, I like your hair, blonde. Than saying you have to do this. You have to do that. Again, this is no disrespect to anybody's culture, any religion, any race. I'm just an asshole, straight up. Asshole. I'm gonna tell you off rip. I'm gonna wear what I want. I'm gonna go where I want. I'm gonna do what I want, when I want, and that's what I'm gonna do. I will respect you if you respect me. I'm not gonna, be out here, you know, acting a fool, you know, unless I drink a bunch of gin on here, act like an asshole, but that's another story. But you know what I mean. There's a difference between, saying you are going to do this versus, hey, babe, that looks cute on you. I like that haircut. I like your hair that color. I like that makeup you wear. I don't like that makeup you wear, again, male or female, whatever the case may be. And that's, in my opinion, no disrespect. I'm just an asshole. I'm going to do what I want. I will respect you. You respect me. I will take what you say into consideration. But if I do not want to do something, I will not do it, and vice versa. That's just how I am. Whatever, again, it's no disrespect to anybody, but, I will respect you if you respect me, but, respect has to be shown, and in a fashion of, sorry, y'all, when I get to going fast and trying to not be, running in circles with my words, my lips get chapped. But, anyways, that's how I feel. That's anybody, you respect me, I'll respect you. Everybody's got their preference, but you can say it nicely. It's not, you're going to this, you have to do this, in my opinion. And again, this is no disrespect to any culture. Everybody's got their beliefs, like I said. There's a nice way of doing things. Alrighty. So, sorry, I'm reading y'all's comments. So she says that she's got to quit buying expensive coffees. This goes back to what they want to do, their future, buying expensive coffees and things like this. It's just not in the future plans. They're saving up for some expensive things. And, it's like, dude, what's a coffee at this point when you're buying a fucking feast every day? I love drinks. You guys know that. It's drinks are my jam. Sorry, I know that's annoying, but I needed last week. Let's be real here, though. What's a coffee when you're buying Taco Bell in the middle of the night? It wasn't dinner, it was a late night snack. So let's roll on to Taco Bell. Actually, no, we got one last thing here. Let me read it. So somebody mentions that they want to go to the mall when she's out and about. She's like, oh, there's too many people out. Again, back to what I said a couple things. If you don't go nowhere. You will not take these folks to the mall, but you want to travel the world. She says, y'all don't understand. It's y'all think Salah's dream is going to Canada. It's not Canada. They want to travel the world. That's his dream. Well, let me tell you a little something back. Like I said, yes, the van life and camper life is different but it's kind of the same realm of traveling. Let me tell you, unless you are making great money, traveling costs, period, point blank. If you're doing van life, you got gas, campsites, same with the camper. If you're doing different countries, different states, you're flying, there's money there. If you're eating Taco Bell in the middle of the night, there's money there. Sorry, ankle crack again. In my opinion, the views are just, I don't know where they plan on getting this money to travel the world, but hell, I'd be wrong. We're going to roll that into somebody unsubscribed the other night, and she said, no need to, announce your departure. And then the chat started telling the person to beat it, and exactly, teardrop. And, you unsubscribe and more people will subscribe. Well, be careful what you say, buddy, because we've actually, most of us here in the chat, I know majority of y'all, we've witnessed that the chats and the members are getting smaller and smaller. Yes, new people do come here and there on all channels, but if they're not rocking with you and they're not interested, they'll leave. I don't care who you are. That goes for me, that goes for anybody. No, he's back. He's back, Boza. You know that Joker wasn't real. I called that. Yo mama is back, yo. I knew, but man, buddy ain't clocking out that quick. Buddy ain't clocking out that quick, y'all. You can tell he's a persistent feller. I will say, you know what, I'm not even gonna say it. Let me stop. I'm gonna stop it at that. I was gonna say something crazy, but I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's roll on. All right, Taco Bell. I am again speechless. Again, you just say, I mentioned this a minute ago. It's just sometimes you just gotta. Our girl is all over the place, man. So I think it was Mozad that just said the Taco Bell video was it made absolutely no sense, like the pasta one. She's slamming food at the bag and looks a certain way, in my opinion, from the jump, and opens the bag up and is putting the stuff out. And she says it looks like Slim Pickens. How is it Slim Pickens when you know what you ordered? Do any of y'all go to a restaurant and you may order an egg and toast and hash browns, and it gets to the table and you say, well, this looks like Slim Pickens. Well, ma'am, you ordered, sir, an egg, toast, and hash browns. You didn't order grits. You didn't order pancakes. You didn't order French toast. What else do you expect? I don't know if she thought they were going to throw in a couple free extra burritos, but so then she's, dipping away her nacho chips, and she says, well, I still got chips left and I'm out of cheese. First world problems. Again, y'all, if this is all I had to worry about in life was donuts and cream and not enough dip on my chips, sign me up. Minus the life. I'm cool on that, but I'm talking about the problems. Just be fucking happy you have Taco Bell. Can you just... You missed the whole point of Ramadan. I mean, there's a clip saying that you gave zero, what's about Ramadan, but you are about... It's like people are hungry out here. You're eating a late night snack, not even a dinner, a lunch, a breakfast. This is a fucking snack. And it's Slim Pickens. What did you expect? A buffet at midnight? It's just you can't... the shit don't add up. It's like she just cannot be happy about a damn thing. You sit on your channel and eat for a fucking living, excuse my language. And people watch that shit, including my goofy ass. I would be doing cartwheels. It's like, dude, you're missing the ball here. You're missing the ball, man. It's you're lucky people are still tuned into this shit. And a lot of us, including me, I'm gonna speak for myself, I'm just in awe of how when I say that, it's like the delusion is crazier and crazier. the ungrateful, the entitled. Imagine coming on here, eating Taco Bell in the middle of the night, and that's all you got to do for the day and bitch about that. I would be freaking ecstatic that people were still watching me. They paid for the Taco Bell, in my opinion. You know, come on now. We know who's fronting the bill. Yeah, I agree. Sala is definitely, the vibe has changed. I agree. Sam, I seen that shit. I seen her bugging out. No, Queen Cobra, I seen her bugging out about the dog in the backyard the other day. Man, she is a whole ass character too. The shit she was talking about, the dog was the size of a demon. How do you know what a demon looks like and the size of one, y'all? Now is off the fucking, freaking Richter scale, man. Now, Naked and Laughing, Queen Cobra, aka all the same person, it is off the chain, man. She talked about there's a stray dog in her yard, off topic, and it's the size of a demon, and it could be the size of a demon. I'm like, how do you know what a demon looks like? I don't want to see one. I ain't never seen one. Me too, Net. Me too. Exactly, beautiful. That's where my vibe that I got right now comes in is, people are hungry out here, times are hard. This is probably your third dinner that your subscribers bought you for the day. It's a middle of the night Taco Bell snack. Some people don't have nothing to eat, and looks like slim pickings to me. Well, then you should have freaking ordered more. I'm that detective. That's what she was saying. A stray dog in her yard. I don't know, man. It was wild. I think it was what, y'all? Right? The Demogorgon projection. Dude, you read when she says Demogorgon, that shit cracks me up. I ain't gonna lie. I am not gonna lie about that cake. Dude, the Demogorgon shit cracks me up. That shit, I ain't gonna lie about that. I am not. Boza, you see me at my worst and finest before. Dude, the Demogorgon shit, I ain't gonna lie, that shit, that's what made me think, Cake, when she talked about the dog being a demon. I thought she was gonna say Demogorgon. I wish that is where my mind went when she talked about the dog. If y'all are confused what we're talking about in the replay in the chat, now King Cobra, excuse me, now Queen Cobra, Naked and Laughing. Again, there's a clip out there. Look up Naked and Laughing, Queen Cobra, and the stray dog. It'll come up, I promise. Man, Crafty, we before I lost my mom, we kind of started dabbling her, and then shit just, we started covering when they started dating. And then unfortunately, I took that break and shit at the fan. And then, I stayed up on it, because I had, to watch it to keep my mind off things. But we might check back into that, y'all, because this shit here, talking about Taco Bell and Slim Pickens, man. I mean, you guys know my list used to go on and on and on. And this is like what's been going on. She said, oh, hold up. She says, this would be easy to make. She picks up her burrito and she says, this would be easy to make. Well, make it then. It won't be Slim Pickens. I'm sure you'll have your platter with giant burritos on. It just like, I think we've all, been hungry. Some of us that drink, have all been at the end of the night. I'm not gonna lie, I have, but I can't imagine getting on here, sauce dripping down my face every time, ruining my clothes with stuff, brushing the crumbs out of my car or all over my floor. We've all seen the clips where stuff just goes on the floor and she has literally no idea. I always go back to this moment She was in the bedroom at the time when she had first got to Kuwait. And she was eating something, and the juice, like, totally just went everywhere, and she didn't even, like, blink an eye. I do think, beautiful, some of it is for the feedies, but I do just think she's so engulfed in the moment and so engulfed in gotta eat it, gotta eat it, gotta eat it now. And she just has horrible table manners. Let's be real here. That I do think some of the, once she figured out the feedy thing was a thing, she does, intensify it maybe per se. But I do just think she's a messy eater, gives zero shits about table manners, how she conducts herself, how she projects herself, how people view her. I think she gives zero shits. I truly do. If you noticed, there's a video running around on, I forget what channel. It's her mother, her sister's boyfriend at the time. I don't even know if that's who her sister's with now. And they're all eating at the table, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's just not. I think Natalie, they were eating pizza or something, and even her, I don't know, dude. I don't know her sister. I'm not going to call her sister out like that. Her sister seems all right compared to her, but it just seemed like it just, you know. But I do agree, beautiful. I do think that there's definitely a lure to it. There's definitely once she figured it out. But I do think that's just her. Who's going to fling crumbs on their car and shit all over their floor and give zero shits? I think she's messy. We've seen, the way she lived at her old spot. We've seen it. I just think that's her. Anybody who wipes fucking burgers in their car, remember her talking about selling the vanity, and she's like, well, it's got burgers underneath. Her little white vanity at the villa, there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse. Get a napkin, get some food napkins from some food bags you got laying around, get a piece of tissue, get some baby wipes, get an old towel, an old washcloth. There is absolutely no excuse for Gars to be anywhere but tissue. Again, just per se, she was at a tissue at the time. Get an old wash rag and wash it. Something. So, unfortunately, I think that is it. I wish I had more. Exactly, beautiful. Or maybe she did have home training, and that's where the do the opposite, or you know how she is about she's got to, you say left and she'll go right, you say blue and she'll say red. Maybe that's just, remember her, the story that I always go back to this in my mind of, her mom and the salad dressing. I think a lot of y'all know the story, but if you don't, they were set at the table, she said, and her mom said, I'll put the salad dressing on your salad. She said, no, I'll do it. And a bunch dumped out in the salad, and her mom said, you eat that. And she was like, yeah, good. She just has to, it's her way or the highway, in my opinion, whether good or bad. Whether it benefits her, whether it doesn't. I think most y'all know this. You got it figured out. It's, oh my God, tacos sound phenomenal. But it's her way or the highway, whether it benefits her or whether it doesn't. But she has to make that, it's what she wants to do, and she has to make that known. Whether it's not good for her, whether it doesn't benefit her, it's just how she is, and most of us know that. So, all this talk of tacos, y'all, I am about to, it's funny, Bozo, you said that a piece of fish left and some rice. Yeah, I'm about to have a piece of fish and some rice. So, all right, y'all, I am hungry. I know you might have heard my stomach growl. And you know if I'm not 50 coffees sitting on here chilling, you know I'm hungry. I can't even mention the last time that I've just drank water after my drink. I kept looking around and I was like, I don't want coffee. I don't want tea. I don't want pop. I don't want juice. I was like, man, excuse me. Oh, I love the lime chips. Those lime chips are my favorite. The lime chips are banging. Make sure you have enough dip, Net. Make sure you have enough dip. Make sure you have enough dip. Sorry, y'all. This ankle is just... All right, y'all. I think it. Go back to the beginning. There was a little thing with nebulous nectar. It'll all make sense. I'm not going to go. And again, this is only my opinions. These are not facts. This is my opinion and my chat's opinion. I do not direct anybody to go to anybody's channel, start nonsense. You know the drill. A, B, and C, we got to cover our tails. Don't go bother anybody. Don't go harassing anybody. Don't go accusing. This is just my opinion, Neb's opinion. Again, y'all, I don't want to get back into it. Go watch the beginning and it'll make sense. Cake, thanks for that funny moment, man. That shit, man, when you said that, I swear whatever you believe in. When she said about Demon and the dog, that is the first thing that popped in my mind. I swear I thought she was going to say Demogorgons, yo. Every time I hear anything about Demogorgons, I think of that broad. I'm not going to lie to you. It could be anything about things, and that shit is the first thing that pops to my head. Is her and Demogorgons. I'm not going to lie to you. It all depends. I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. I never promise y'all. I don't want to let y'all down and have y'all waiting for me. I with my narcolepsy, with you never know what life's to bring, man. You think that way too, Cake? Man, that shit. Anytime I hear the word Demogorgon, that shit comes to my mind. I'm trying to get back in the swing of things though, like I told y'all. But I don't want to promise y'all and have y'all waiting for me and waiting around and looking at shit. But I'm getting back in the swing of things. If you get bored and you missed out earlier, we did a couple fragrances off the new Bath and Body Works Everyday Luxuries line. I had a little gift card, and man, they're phenomenal. Go check out that video if you get bored. Yeah, check that out if you get bored. The haul. We got some fragrance coming up. We're gonna bust this pizza oven out the ball. And again, if everything's all right with Grandma and life doesn't throw any curveballs my way, we're gonna bust this pizza oven out, give it a fair review, see how it's what it's shaking like. Check it out, and yeah, hit the like button, subscribe. I always want to say this from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. Honest, I know I don't have to say that all the time, but I genuinely mean it, and I do. Do you, be you, watch who you want to watch, do what you want to do. Don't be afraid, and this ain't even for me. Do you, man. We're all adults. We should be here. I want to make her. Do you, be you, hang out with who you want to, watch who you want to. This shit, like I said, with the community, don't watch them, I don't like them. Man, I've always told y'all, when somebody tries to gatekeep you, this shit's went too far. And I'm not even saying the situation with me. I know there's creator beef going on right now. It's just, most of us are here to kick it, have a good time, forget the outside world and have a good time. So that shit, don't watch them. I don't like them. No, man. All right, y'all. I love you guys. Have a great night, a great day, a great morning, afternoon, depending what time frame you're in, what time you come across this. And yeah, I did talk about it at the beginning. No, you're here. No, you're here. You're here. No, you're here. Everybody's here, y'all. My throat's getting a little scraggly. Not gonna lie to y'all, I'm hungry as shit. I drank a Red Bull, a coffee, that matcha. I'm like, I don't know if y'all heard a minute ago, my stomach was like, rawr. So sorry my ankle keeps cracking too, but I love you guys. Have a great day, great night. Depending where you're at, get you a little snack. If you order late night Taco Bell and you know what you ordered, don't say it's Slim Pickens. Make sure you got enough that you knew what I was about to say, Neb. Make sure you got enough dip on your chip. And I love you guys too. Have a good night. Bye, guys.